How much are you looking forward to Saturday?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's been, I mean, when you hear the news, it's a sellout crowd and it's opening day of the season, unveiling of the championship flag as well. It's you've got to look forward to it. And to be honest, just looking forward to the game in itself, actually getting on that field, if selected, and playing and playing back at the top flight for the club, where it's obviously where we think we belong.
You've been there before in the top flight. How much are you personally looking forward to getting back to playing in the top flight?
Yeah, listen, everybody's looking forward to it. For me, it's looking forward to these games, that pressure, that demand that is put on you at this club to go and win games week in, week out. The pressure of playing early, of playing late, of playing before Celtic and Aberdeen and Hearts and the rest of the teams, or an opportunity to put 3 points between you and your rivals. It's the way it is when you're in the top flight. There's maybe between Celtic and Rangers, there's maybe 4 or 5 games over the course of the season you play at the same time. The rest of the time you're early, a day later, a day before. So that in itself brings an added pressure.
With the changes that have happened over the summer and the new players that have come in, when you look at the squad now, is it a squad that can win the Scottish Premiership?
We firmly believe so. Yeah, there's no doubt. I thought we were in a really good place last year, to be honest, and we had to add the right players in the right areas, and there's no doubt we've brought in some real quality. So in terms of the standard of the squad as a whole, we're definitely in a better place and in a stronger place than what we were last season. And like I said, I thought with the basis of a really good squad last year.
You say you believe you can win the league. Playing devil's advocate, you've just come up from the Championship. What gives you that belief?
See, I think it's no like in England when you're coming up for the Championship to the Premiership, where the gulf might be a lot bigger than what it is here. I think that goes without saying. But I think we've got real quality. We've shown in the games we've played against top flight teams last year in the Cup. This season, the first game against Motherwell, I mean, we had 45 minutes the majority of the action before that game, and I thought after 15-20 minutes maybe it was a bit tough. I thought after that we were the dominant team. We definitely should have scored more goals in the second half of that game. A couple of strange refereeing decisions maybe robbed us of a few penalties and potentially a sending off. So that game could have been a few more goals that day. And off the back of that, I said 45 minutes an hour action, I thought it was a very good performance against a really good top 6 team in the SPL.
Would you concede that Celtic are the favourites for the title?
I can see why they are favourites. They've won the league 5 years in a row. Current champions, big squad. So I can see why they're favourites, but to be honest, that's not going to stop us going out and doing what we do. I mean, we say every week last year, and again the same will apply this year, going into any game, if we do what we do, we know we'll win the game.
Normally going into the season, it's kind of 50-50 in terms of who the scrutiny, the pressure is on. Both sets of fans both want that title as much. But is there more on it for Celtic this year than you guys, because you guys are coming into the division from the Championship?
Listen, I wouldn't say so. I think that the pressures and demands that get put on you as a player from within the club, from your teammates, from the fans, it's the same pressures at both clubs. I mean, a lot of people are getting caught up in this Rangers Celtic getting back to locking horns again. There's some good teams in this league. Hearts have got a fantastic young manager there who's trying to do really good things at the club. Aberdeen, I've been there in the last couple of years. I've had a little taste of it, albeit fell away towards the end of the seasons. So I mean, they're going to have their say in it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they'll be hearing the comments that everybody's talking about Rangers and Celtic and coming back in, and it's going to be between they two clubs, and they'll be using that as motivation, because it is a little bit disrespectful when you continually talk about Rangers and Celtic when these teams have done really well the last few years.
What have you made of Scott Brown's comments on that theme then, that Aberdeen will be the biggest threat?
Well, again, that's everything I'm saying. I mean, that's only going to be motivation for Aberdeen. For Hearts, are not even getting mentioned. So it's you take that with a pinch of salt. I mean, there's no way that Scott Brown actually believes that. He's saying it to get headlines and noise people up. But let's be honest about it. He knows where there's a real. He knows for the semi-final last year, where we won on penalties, but we dominated that game. We're worthy winners. Probably should have won it, and if it hadn't been normal time, it should have been extra time. So he knows the challenge that we're going to be bringing this year.
Is that just part of the Old Firm wind-up?
Listen, again, I don't think Brownie got his own scores against Aberdeen right at Parkhead, did he? He says they came to Parkhead and got points taken off them with the never, so we'll take that with a pinch of salt as well.
How impressed have you been with the new additions?
Very, very impressed. I mean, really excited when we've seen the names that we're getting linked with. Even more excited when you see the way they go about their business and how well they train and the qualities that they're bringing to the football club. And obviously that's not just Nico, Joy and Clint Hull and like the bigger name sign, and some of the younger lads. Josh Windass I thought has been superb since he's came in as well. So yeah, really excited about the signings. Like I said, the squad's in a really good place, and I feel we're more than strong enough to put a challenge up this year.
And seeing how the side has played in the League Cup, how close are you to kind of running it at your best, coming up to Saturday?
Listen, we'll get there. I mean, I think with any season, it does take you a right few games into the season before you're up to full match speed, match sharpness. And the good thing about this setup was it was actually competitive games, albeit it takes away the opportunity that, with no disrespect to the teams, you probably would have rather it kind of going the other way in terms of level of opposition towards this game. But Burnley game was a great test, a really good test, and it highlighted things that we need to work on, which was great. So we've looked at that a lot this season, a lot this week, and hopefully that'll improve for the game on Saturday.
When you look back to when you first joined Rangers, Kenny, would you have thought all those years later you'd be still in the top flight of Scottish football?
Listen, again, when you want to play as long as you can, and for me, I keep saying, like, yeah, but 36, you're becoming to the twilight years of your career. But I feel as fit, as strong, as good a player as whatever was. So I'm really looking forward to the season. Want to play as many games as I can, score as many goals as I can, and hopefully it'll end in a success at the end of the season.
You started off talking about the kind of differences, not playing at the same time as Celtic, the kind of after each other and the pressures it brings. Yeah. Have you explained to the other lads who haven't experienced that how many maybe notches things are going to go up this season?
Again, I think it's one of the things where nobody really asks or the majority of the lads have been here, and other lads who have came in have played at good levels. We've got younger lads who are keen and really good lads to learn. So we'll find that out soon enough, because like I said, it's every week, it's every single week. There's a different pressure that comes along with the game. Like I said, it could be to put 3 points between you and your rivals. It can be you're playing the next day, everybody's won. You need to then go and win that game to stay in touch or to gain points. So there is a different pressure on when you play, when it's early, late, day before, day after. That's every week here, and the lads will get used to it soon enough.
Do you go back to the idea then of looking for Celtic results, at the weekend, as opposed to the last few years where it didn't really matter?
Well, I look for Hearts results and Hibs results the last few days. I think that's just the nature of the business. But I think this year, like you say, it goes up a right few notches. It's again, it might not be necessarily looking for the results, because we could be out earlier, we could be out later, but we'll definitely be really tuned into what they're doing. But again, it always comes back to us. If we do what we do and we win football matches, whether it be a Saturday, early, late or Sunday, it's ultimately it's about, we can't affect what Celtic are going to do. But what we can do is, if we're on before or early or whatever, we can put a little bit more pressure on by putting a really good performance in and coming away with 3 points.
You look like you're quite up for it.
Eh?
You look like you're quite up there.
Right up for it, yeah.